it's Robert, the Muffin Man style, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Bob Hurley Ford. Hey guys, this is going to be the first episode of What's Cooking with the Muffin Man. Today I've got BG Dave in here. We're going to talk about some of the BG products and kind of how Dave got into it. When I was a parts guy, I loved selling BG. I actually keep BG in all of my vehicles, my wife's, her brand new Escape, and my old 2006 Chevrolet. So Dave, how did you kind of get into the BG?
Well, I'm a certified master tech, and I started using the products probably about 20 years ago. I was working at a Chevrolet store, and we had a BG rep come in, and in the particular store I was at was in New England, and we had very, very stringent emissions testing standards. So I was usually the guy that got stuck with the real headache cars, and so they so the BG guy told me he had something that could help me get some of these cars to pass emissions. So I actually put them to the test. We put some of these cars on a dyno. We did some sniffing of the emissions before and after, and I was actually very impressed with the fact that what they said they could do, they could deliver on. So they kind of made me a believer through some trial and error, or maybe trial more than anything. But so I was very impressed with the products.
Awesome.
So what they do is when they put a product out, they spend a lot of time and money on testing, which is important to me as far as someone who's going to be out there talking to people about the products. And honestly, BG's biggest concern is about the end user, the person who gets the product. Does it actually work? What we say on a can, does it actually do what it says it's going to do? You can walk down the aisle of a Walmart or an O'Reilly's and you see all these different fuel additives, oil additives, things like that. And honestly, to me, it's something but confusion, because they all make these promises that they say they're going to deliver this, you're going to get more performance, more fuel economy. But the reality is, you got to ask yourself, does that really deliver what it says it's going to do? And unfortunately, most of the time, it's not true. A lot of the stuff they have is just gimmicky, or it's, when you break down some of the chemical solutions, they're just cheap solvents or alcohol and things like that. And honestly, it's kind of a waste of money.
Yeah.
So the term snake oil has kind of honestly really is a legitimate term for a lot of the products that are out there. But BG has made their niche in doing it right. Yeah. Actually spending money on R&D, bringing in qualified people to do it. We have certain OEMs like Volkswagen has worked with us, Suzuki has worked with us. We've had recommendations from Ford and GM throughout the years where they'll say, hey, if you have a specific problem, use this specific BG product. As a matter of fact, Jaguar and Land Rover have a bulletin out that says if you're having a drivability concern with a specific year and model of car, they'll literally pay under warranty for you to have a BG service done to fix the problem.
That's huge.
Which is huge. Yeah. And they just understand the credibility of what we bring to the table. So it's cool. It's been cool working for them.
That's one thing that kind of touched back on the credibility and whatnot, and believing in the product. Now, what kind of things does BG? I know BG offers like lifetime protection. Some of these plans that really make the customer feel like peace of mind whenever they know, hey, if I do this plan, BG has me covered, and they strongly believe in their product. What are some of those things that you guys offer?
To me, that's probably the most impressive thing about BG themselves, and that's what kind of makes me proud to be a rep. And so probably about 15 years ago, they came up with this warranty. And so basically what it is if you use any of the BG products, so you have a maintenance service done with the products, they automatically include a free lifetime coverage on that component. Now, there is some limitations. The mileage, you have to have a certain amount of mileage. Right now, it's 100,000 miles or less if you have any BG service done. Let's say it's a transmission service or a cooling system service, or you do something as simple as add a can of our motor oil additive in it, an oil change, they will warranty that component. So the engine, the transmission, the cooling system, the brake system, the power steering system, the drive line, any of our products that go into these components, we're willing to stand behind them for lifetime coverage. And that coverage costs the customer zero. It's absolutely free.
That's huge.
So it's to me, if you wanted to prove your integrity to an end user, somebody who would buy your products and use them, that is the ultimate way of saying, hey, you know what, we believe in what we have, we believe it works, and we're going to show you by putting our money where our mouth is.
That's awesome. Now, I know, so whenever customers buy cars from us at Bob Hurley Ford and they get their first free oil change, it all comes with the BG stuff in it. Now, to keep them in that Engines for Life program, they have to continue to put an oil additive in there, correct?
That's correct. And that's another thing I'd like to just honestly give Bob Hurley a compliment, because ever since I've been doing business with him, Bob put his confidence in us, okay? And basically he said he was willing to spend his personal money and put in the motor oil additive and the fuel additive on the pre-delivery and then on the first free oil change.
That's huge.
So your used cars, your new cars are all come pre-treated, so they're pre-enrolled in lifetime engine coverage and lifetime fuel system coverage.
Very nice.
Which is huge. And it's not only that, it's also the peace of mind of knowing that that car went out with a clean fuel system and went out with some kind of protection on the motor, regardless of the warranty. But so the way it's set up is the customer's pre-enrolled. So they come back, they get it on their first free, and after that, they're obligated to continue purchasing the products.
Awesome.
So every oil service, for example, for the engine coverage, they would use the motor oil additive. Okay. If they want to go from engine coverage to the fuel system coverage, then they just simply add in the fuel additive, and then they get both.
Awesome.
And right now, the way it stands with BG, you can get up to $6,000 of coverage for free on your engine and fuel system.
That's huge.
It's huge.
That's very big.
Yep.
And then, so quick question. I know that when you put this stuff into your oil, you do an oil change to keep in that product. Obviously, it costs a little bit more. It's an additive to do to a regular oil change. But from my understanding, you can actually extend the oil change durations to a hair bit longer. So in a sense, it almost pays for itself.
That's correct. You'll see that this says extended life on it, the BG MOA with extended life label on it. What that means is if a customer decided to go a little further on an oil change, and honestly, we'll let them go all the way up to 10,000 miles between oil changes on your typical motorcraft oil, we'll say.
So almost double the life of a normal oil change.
Yeah, now I'll be honest with you, I don't recommend that typically because, I like to have my head under the hood as a technician to check belts, hoses, rotate tires and things like that. But if a customer did decide to do it, we've got that availability. And the other thing too is, honestly, most customers say 5,000. But the reality is they get busy, they get sidetracked, and they go to 6,000, 6,500. Well, the problem before was if you went over, now you got to wonder, am I out of the program?
Yeah.
Well, now with this extended coverage, you got a lot of grace.
That's
so
good.
If you do forget or something happens, we're going to keep you covered.
Awesome. That's good, because I know that actually happened just to me. You think for a sales consultant and someone who's here quite a bit, and selling vehicles, that I would take pretty good care of mine, but my wife, she actually drives the Escape, and I hopped in it the other day, and I was like, Courtney, you realize you're at 7,000 miles. We need to get this oil change.
It happens all the time.
So he came in, and the first thing I asked Shane, I said, Shane, we're good still with the BG stuff, and can we add it in? He goes, of course, we got it taken care of. So again, I love this stuff, and I know it helped me as well.
And what we did when we set up the menus for this store is we actually have a laminate menu for the customer. So a customer comes in, and it's a little grid, and it helps them understand when the services are due and how to keep the program maintained.
Awesome.
Because one of the catches is, and I'll use that term catch, is once you're on the program, what we're asking to do is keep the products in there.
Of course.
And that's not unreasonable. If we're going to give you all this lifetime coverage, we're saying, okay, get the system service and then keep it serviced at the regular intervals that we recommend.
Very nice.
And we'll give you lifetime coverage.
Awesome.
I've had customers who are out at the 180,000, 200,000 mile mark. Let's say, for example, they did a cooling system service, like you see this additive here, and they lost a radiator. And then I had one customer that lost a radiator and a heater core. Well, that was almost an $1,800 repair.
Of course, yeah.
BG paid the entire bill.
That's awesome.
And there was no questions asked, and the customer was happy, and the dealership was happy because they were able to deliver on what they promised.
Of course, yeah.
And that customer was, once again, he was someone who just kept up on the program and believed in it, and it paid off for him.
Awesome. Another quick question. Now, this isn't just for gas motors, correct? You have a diesel program as well, because I know diesel injectors and some of that stuff gets quite expensive pretty quick. Anything for those guys?
Well, let me tell you something. This new technology with diesels, we could get into a whole segment on that, but they have all these after treatment devices, right? It's not just DEF fluid. DEF fluid is only addressing one aspect of the after treatment. You've got a particulate filter. You've got other devices that are in there. You've got an EGR valve that is dumping sooty exhaust gas back into the intake manifold. So these systems are under more dramatic pressure and issues with deposits and whatnot than they ever had before.
Okay.
Okay, and of course they're trying to push all the horsepower out of them, so everything's high tech. And the way our program is set up, if you get on our program and you do the services the way you're supposed to do them, we can cover the engine, the fuel system. That includes injectors, high pressure pumps, all the expensive things that can break on a diesel, which, you know, can happen randomly, right?
Yep.
You can get one bad tank of fuel. And then now you've got all these major problems. Well, BG's got that warranty that'll stand behind the diesel products. And once again, if you've ever been a diesel owner and you've had to pay a bill, a major repair bill, you understand very quickly how important it is to stay up on maintenance.
Well, Dave, I think it's about as much time as we have for today. I really appreciate you coming out.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
That concludes pretty much of What's Cooking with the Muffin Man right here at Bob Hurley Ford in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, guys, make sure to like the page, share the videos. If you have any questions, get with me, contact me, comment below, and we'll make sure to get back to you as fast as we can. Thanks, guys.